Hi, this is Aldo from excelninja.com. In this video, we'll be talking about absolute references. So say you have a yearly growth rate as a target, and you want to understand from a starting point in year one of $1,000 what that means for your sales. What you can do is basically create a formula for each cell that says, okay, previous year times 1 plus the growth rate equals what you need to achieve. And you could say basically recreate the same formula every time, so type in it, but this obviously takes time. How can you copy and paste the formula into all the other cells? Now if I do this, so copy, Control C, and then Control V into the other ones, as you can see there's some really odd numbers, and the reason is Excel as a default is set up to use relative references. So for instance, let's have a look at this particular formula. What it does is saying, okay, multiply B8, which is the previous year, that's all good, but then it uses as a growth rate cell B6, which is 1000 instead of 10%. This is because it's a relative reference, not an absolute reference. How do we change that? How do we make sure that each formula, no matter how down the spreadsheet you go, always uses the value which is in B4? We do that by using absolute references. So let's start again, and I'll show you how to do that. So what we do, okay, we say multiply the previous year's value times 1 plus the growth rate, which is in cell B4. And now just pay attention, because this is the important bit. You press F4, and Excel, as you can see, adds dollar signs in front of the B and in front of the 4. What that means is that is fixing the reference. So it's creating an absolute reference to cell B4. So when I close parentheses, type enter, it gives me the formula. And now if I copy, Control C, Control V, as you can see, the values are basically the previous year plus 10% growth rate. And then of course you can change the growth rate like that, and it will change the value. Now the important thing here again, it's the absolute reference. As I said before, you can type F4, or you could manually type $B, $4. Now let's go and have a look at another scenario where, for instance, you want to do the same exercise, but you have 3 different scenarios. So what you will want to do is to create the same formula. So B6 times 1 plus, let's try and do the same, replicate exactly the same, and copy and paste like that, and then this will be the same starting point. But I want to show you, if I copy and paste the same formula, the numbers, the results are exactly the same despite the growth rate being different. The reason being, even in scenarios B and C, I'm still using the absolute reference of B4, yeah, cell B4, which is the 10%. What I want to do, I want to basically set scenario B to reference cell C4, 15%, and scenario C to reference cell D4, 20%. How do I do this? It's again with absolute references, but with a slight difference, because what I want to do this time is to reference the value in row 4 but change the column. So the way I do that is leave the dollar sign in front of the 4, which is tells Excel the row, but take it out of in front of the B. And I can do this either by backspace or by typing, again clicking F4. And as you can see, as I keep clicking, Excel changes the absolute reference. So what you're seeing now is me clicking F4 to change a different reference and how fixed the cell is, the reference is. So now I'm gonna leave it to cell B, but without a reference in front, absolute reference in front, or a dollar sign, and leave it with a dollar sign in front of the 4. And then I copy and paste this across everything, and as you can see, the numbers have changed. So this has stayed the same, but now as you can see, this has become C4, and the same is the same for all the other ones below, and here it's become D4, and for all the other ones. So this is an excellent way of saving yourself time and making sure that all the formulas that you're using are correct by using absolute reference in Excel.